This is my candy cane Santa hat that my boyfriend got for me. And I love it. And look, it has the thing. I was trying to flip it with my head, but I didn't do very... There we go! Oh, I'm not good at doing it that way, apparently. It's making me dizzy. I'm going to stop now. But so, there's a little bit of a story behind it. So yesterday at work, my coworker Mary said to me, "Do you have a Santa hat?" And I said, "No, why, do you?" And she said, "Yeah, and I want to wear it tomorrow, but I don't really want to wear it if nobody else wears a Santa hat." And I said, "I'll wear a Santa hat with you. I'll go to the dollar store before work tomorrow and I'll get one." And she was like, "Okay, yay." So we were excited to wear Santa hats together. At least I was. So I left for work really early because I knew there was going to be a long lineup. I knew it was going to be really busy. And right before I left, my boyfriend said, "Do you have any cash?" And I looked at my wallet and there was a $10 bill. And I said, "Yeah, you can have this." And he's like, "Oh, but aren't you going to need money for the dollar store?" And I said, "Well, they take debit, so it's okay." And he was like, "Okay." So then I went to the dollar store and I got a Santa hat. And I waited in line for about 15 minutes. And then I got to my turn and it was like $1.25. And I was like, that's going to have to be debit. And I opened my wallet and my debit card wasn't there. And I was like, where's my debit card? And then I remembered that it was in my copy apron from work because I needed to get cash back and I had it in my apron and I didn't end up putting it back in my wallet. And so it was still at work. And I was like, no, I'm probably not going to have enough time to go to work and get it and come back and wait in line again. I was like, oh no, I don't have my debit card. And I gave all my cash to my boyfriend. I was like, I'm sorry, I have to leave this here. I have to leave. I can't buy it. And she was like, well, now I'm going to have to get someone to suspend this transaction. And I'm like just thinking, okay, you don't have to be rude about it. It's not like I did it on purpose. And she's like, well, are you coming back? And I was like, well, I might have time to come back. Can you leave it here? Is that okay if you leave it aside for me? And she's like, yeah, I'll leave it here. I was like, okay. So I texted my boyfriend and I said, I gave you all my cash and I left my debit card at work so I couldn't buy my Santa hat. And then he went to Zellers and he got me one. And he got me this one. And it's better than the one that I was going to get at this dollar store. So that's good. And yes, that is all. And since it's the eve of Christmas Eve, and it's only 50 minutes away from Christmas Eve, and probably by the time I have this edited and uploaded, it will be Christmas Eve. And by the time you're watching this, it will be Christmas Eve, and that's exciting. So I thought I would make a little bit of a Christmassy themed video. And by themed, I mean just, I'm going to be talking about Christmas things. So my favorite Christmas memories, I think, is pretty much just the fact that Santa never wrapped our presents. We're pretty much the only family that he did that for. I guess he was lazy when it came to us, and he just wrapped everyone else's presents, but he didn't wrap any of ours, and I loved it because that's what I grew up with, so that's what I was used to. And then because I always knew which presents were from Santa, and my brother and I would always wake up before my parents, and we were never allowed to open any presents without them, and they didn't want to get up at 6 in the morning with us. So we were only allowed to open and play with our presents from Santa, and we would know which ones were from Santa because they weren't wrapped. And it was just so exciting, like, coming down the hall and seeing the Christmas tree all lit up, and there would be random presents, like the ones that I asked for from Santa would be right there under the tree or under my stocking, and it would just be fantastic. They'd be right there, and I could play with them right away, and I would just know that Santa's the one who gave them to me, and it was great. And then I think I have 3 memories of awesome presents. No, 2 memories of awesome presents and 1 of a not so awesome present, but it's a funny memory. So the first one is the not so awesome one, and I don't remember how old I was, but I was pretty young, and I was randomly afraid of Santa that year, and I didn't want to go sit on his lap. I was too afraid. So I made my brother sit on his lap and tell him what I wanted, and I wanted this Barbie set that came with babies, and either I was misled in the commercial, and we were shown like more than one package, and there were 2 babies, or you could get it with 1 baby, or you could get it with 2 babies. But anyway, so I wanted the 2 babies. I wanted twins or whatever. But my brother, I guess, didn't ask for the 2 babies. He just asked for the Barbie set with the baby. And then I only got 1 baby. And I was like, I wanted 2 and I only got 1. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe my brother just forgot and asked him wrong, and it wasn't Santa's fault. And then there was one year that I really, really wanted, I think I was in grade 1, and I wanted a puppy surprise, and it was just this stuffed puppy that had a Velcro belly, and you'd open it up, and then there were little baby puppies inside, and you wouldn't know how many you would get or how many would be boys or girls, and it was a surprise. And that was something that I really, really wanted, and it was there underneath my stocking in the morning, and it was just so exciting, and I have a picture of me with it, and it was cute, and I loved it. My last Santa / Christmas / present story is one year, and I'm pretty sure I was in grade 3, maybe grade 2, doesn't really matter. I really, really wanted a trampoline for Christmas. Not one of the big ones that go in your backyard, just the little ones where you just jump on the spot. I really, really wanted one, and my mom didn't want to get me one. She was like, no, you're not getting a trampoline. So I was like, well, I'll just ask Santa for one, and he'll bring me one. And then Christmas morning came, and I woke up from my brother making noise up and down the hall, and I came out and I saw him bouncing on this red ball, and he's like, look what you got from Santa, and there's a note with it. So he showed me where the note was, and it said something like, Dear Natalie, I know that you really wanted a trampoline for Christmas, but I know how your mother feels about trampoline, and I didn't want to make her angry by getting you a trampoline when I know that she didn't want you to have one. So instead, I got you this red ball that you can bounce around on, and it's better because you can travel with it instead of staying in the same spot. And it was, like a big red ball that had handles on it, and so you'd sit on it and bounce around on it, and it's called the Hop 55, if anyone knows what those were, but it was fantastic, and I ended up loving it so much, and I'd take it to my friends' houses all the time. Every time I was going to my friend's house, they'd be like, are you going to bring the Hop 55? So that ended up turning out pretty good, and I was pretty satisfied with Santa's letter, so it worked out, I guess. I guess that's all. Goodbye, and Merry Christmas, and then to everyone who doesn't celebrate Christmas, Merry whatever you celebrate.